The first time I noticed something was off, it was just a chair, slightly out of place. The second time, it was a strand of blonde hair in my pool. By the sixth time, I wasn't guessing anymore. I knew exactly who was trespassing. So I stopped reacting and started setting a trap. I live in a quiet HOA neighborhood where everything looks perfect from the outside. Clean streets, matching houses, smiling neighbors. And then there was Karen. Her real name didn't matter, everyone knew her as the HOA president. The kind of person who walked around like she owned every inch of the community. She sent violation notices over trash cans being visible for 5 minutes too long. She fined people for grass being half an inch over regulation. And she loved targeting people she thought wouldn't push back. I wasn't one of those people. But she didn't know that yet. See, my house had something most others didn't, a fully private pool, fenced, locked, and clearly inside my property line. Legally untouchable. Or at least, it should have been. Because Karen had already convinced herself that HOA rules applied everywhere. Even where they didn't. And that assumption? That was her first mistake. It started small. A pool chair facing the wrong direction. At first, I ignored it. Thought maybe I moved it and forgot. Then came the water level. Slightly higher than normal. Not enough to panic, but enough to notice. And then, the hair. Long blonde. Wrapped around the pool skimmer. I stood there for a while, staring at it. Because I don't have blonde hair. And I don't share my pool. That's when the feeling hit me. Someone had been there. Not once. More than once. And they weren't asking for permission. They were letting themselves in. That night, I didn't call anyone. I didn't confront anyone. I ordered cameras. Because if someone thought they could use my property like it was theirs, I wanted proof. Not guesses. Not assumptions. Proof. I installed the cameras 2 days later. One facing the gate. One covering the entire pool. Both connected directly to my phone. Then I left town for work. And waited. It didn't take long. The notification came in while I was sitting in a hotel room. Motion detected. I opened the app. And there she was. Karen. Walking through my locked gate like she'd done it 100 times. No hesitation. No checking. Just confidence. She set her bag down. Sat in my chair. And got into my pool. Like it belonged to her. I watched the entire thing. Once. Then again. And again. Not because I didn't believe it. But because I wanted every detail burned into my memory. Time. Movement. Behavior. She stayed for over an hour. Then left. Just like that. No note. No apology. Nothing. And in that moment, I had a choice. React emotionally. Or think strategically. So I did nothing. And that's what made everything that came next possible. For the next 2 weeks, I acted normal. Went to work. Said hello to neighbors. Even waved at Karen once. She smiled like nothing was wrong. Meanwhile, I was documenting everything. She came back again. And again. Each time, same routine. Same confidence. Same mistake. I saved every recording. Timestamped everything. Built a timeline. Then I spoke to my neighbor. She'd seen Karen's car outside my house multiple times while I was gone. She thought it was HOA business. I asked her to write that down. She did. Signed and dated. Now I had footage. A witness. A pattern. That's when I called a lawyer. He didn't even hesitate. Don't confront her yet, he said. Let her do it one more time. I asked why. He said, because one mistake can be denied. But a pattern? That's a case. Then he told me something else. Set the stage. And that's when the plan changed. This wasn't about catching her anymore. This was about finishing it. That Friday, I treated the pool. Completely legal. Completely safe. But noticeable. Very noticeable. I kept the receipt. Saved it. Documented everything. Then I left the house the next day like usual. Got coffee. Sat down. And waited. At 1:52 p.m. My phone buzzed. Motion detected. I didn't rush. I just opened the app. And there she was. Again. Walking in like she owned the place. Dropping her bag. Getting comfortable. Slipping into the water. No hesitation. No fear. Because in her mind, she had already gotten away with it. Multiple times. I watched the entire thing live. Didn't interrupt. Didn't react. Just let it happen. Time passed. An hour. Then more. Finally, she got out. Dried off. Picked up her bag. And started walking out. Then she stopped. Looked at her arm. Then her legs. Then back at her arm. She started rubbing her skin. Faster. Harder. Confused. Panicking. And I just sat there. Watching. Because the trap wasn't about hurting her. It was about timing. And now. It was perfect. She showed up at my door less than an hour later. Furious. Yelling. Threatening lawsuits. Accusing me of assault. I let her talk. Didn't interrupt once. Then I asked one question. Why were you in my pool? She froze. Just for a second. Then tried to deflect. That's when I held up my phone. Pressed play. One video. Then another. Then another. 6 total visits. Clear footage. Her face. Her actions. Her trespassing. Every single time. The anger drained from her face. Fast. She tried to speak. Couldn't. I told her everything had already been sent to my lawyer. That a complaint was filed. That she should probably call an attorney. Then I closed the door. And just like that, the power shifted. The lawsuit hit fast. And it hit hard. Trespassing. Property violation. Abuse of authority. Emotional distress. All backed by evidence. Not opinions. Not arguments. Proof. Her defense didn't last long. There wasn't much to defend. The court ruled in my favor. Full legal fees covered. Additional damages awarded. And most importantly, a permanent end to her interference. The HOA removed her within the week. Quietly. No announcement. No apology. She disappeared from the neighborhood almost overnight. And me? I changed the lock on my gate. Adjusted the cameras. And for the first time in weeks, I used my pool. In complete peace. Because some people think they can take what isn't theirs. Until someone finally shows them exactly where the line is.